Hello, thank you for having me. Today, I'm here in Suzu City, Ishikawa Prefecture, visiting a place called Tiny's Farm. I'm going to have a conversation with Mr. Katsuhiko Sumii, a former JRA trainer. Thank you very much for your time. Sensei, what kind of activities are you involved in here now?
Well, it's about retired racehorses. Tokiwano has also retired and will. These horses have lost their roles, so yes, the question is how they will spend the rest of their lives. If they're just living out their days, they don't generate any income and the cycle can't continue. That's why we're trying to create new roles for them so they can find a way to survive here and earn money themselves. That's the challenge we're taking on. Yes, that's right. The quickest way is that just having horses here attracts a lot of people, so things like tourism and interaction with the horses are probably the easiest ways to generate income. I feel like that's the most straightforward revenue model. But then, how long can they do that? That only works for horses that are still physically able, right? As they get older, their physical abilities start to decline. Even if some of the horses aren't able to do it anymore, in terms of finding a way for them to survive, this area is actually experiencing a lot of depopulation. And, well, the population is aging rapidly too. There are abandoned farmlands, fields, rice paddies, and mountains, and by letting the horses graze there, the grass gets eaten down and the place becomes this clean. This area used to be completely overgrown, but now, as you can see, it's this tidy. If someone wants to start farming, they could bring in some heavy machinery and, just like that, set up a decent farm or rice paddy. Nowadays, though, we have to deal with pests and wild animals. Wild boars, deer, and even bears come down from the mountains. But when there are horses around, the smell of their manure and their sheer size make it seem like there are already big wild animals here, so it becomes harder for those animals to come down. Before wild boars can ruin the fields, the horses act as a kind of buffer, a breakwater against the pests. That's one of the things we're trying, using horses as a barrier against wild animals. So, what are they actually doing? Well, honestly, they just stink and poop everywhere. So, yes, that's the kind of thing we're working on, raising awareness and getting understanding from the local people and the government so that it becomes acceptable for the horses to be here. That's what we're aiming for. And on top of that, the population is aging. If things keep going this way and people keep leaving, the only ones left will be the elderly and people with disabilities. Yeah, for those people, we want to give them some kind of work or sense of purpose, and maybe, with horses, we can build a good relationship going forward. For example, we could ask them to help collect the horses' manure for composting, or suggest they try riding as a way to prevent aging or dementia. These are the kinds of initiatives we can do. So, yeah. Well, it might be closer to caregiving or day services rather than medical care, but I wonder if we could use horses in those kinds of activities. If we could use horses to address the problems that are happening precisely because of depopulation in these areas, that would be great. I think this could also create job opportunities for them. Right now, even among major corporations, there's a rule that a certain percentage of employees must be people with disabilities. But I don't think it necessarily has to be at the company's headquarters. So, if they could set up branch offices in these kinds of local areas, and then, by taking care of the horses here, they could both provide employment and secure human resources for the future. If they can work together, I don't think it would create a negative image for the company, and they'd also be employing people with disabilities. Plus, they'd be addressing local issues and contributing to the community, which I think is a really positive thing. The most straightforward path is for racehorses to become riding horses. The first one that came here was Dream Signal, and at the riding club, he hurt his back and couldn't move anymore. So, within the riding club, he became a horse that couldn't earn money. After that, if he just lives among the other horses, he basically becomes an animal whose only joy in life is eating. But the people at the riding club really care about him and think he's cute, so they try to support him in various ways, like giving him treats. They bring him food, but gradually, as it becomes all about the food, he starts jumping at people to get carrots and things like that. Then, people start to worry that one day he might hurt someone. I think everyone at the riding club feels that way. Yes. When it gets to that point, they realize they can't just keep him at the club anymore. The decision to have him put down comes much sooner in that situation, at that timing. So, we discussed it, and originally, the plan was to take in a Dosanko horse that was in the middle of therapy and retrain it here. But since that horse was still young, they decided to buy it elsewhere and try to retrain it there. So, in that case, I said, well then, I'll take Dream Signal here. He said that if it was just one horse, he could take care of it. That was Mr. Ono from Times Farm who told me that. Yeah. So, it was a bit different from the original plan, but, well, he's someone who really loves animals and is very kind, so from now on... Yeah, he was really frustrated about whether society should be like this, so he said, well then, let's do it. Of course, the location is good too, but honestly, right now, I actually live in Wajima, which is the neighboring city. It's a port town, and there's also the traditional craft called Wajimanari. The townscape is really compact and condensed. It's an area where it's pretty much impossible for horses to fit in. But Suzu, the place we're talking about, is a place where houses are. The space around the houses is really spacious and relaxed. And there are actually quite a lot of flat places where horses can live comfortably in that environment, so I thought it would be easy for them to settle in. But actually, I heard that there's an old legend about Noto horses, and that horses originally used to be kept here in this area. Hearing that, I realized, that's why it's such a comfortable and pleasant environment for them. It really made me appreciate the place all over again.
Yeah. How about the climate around here?
Well, in winter, it actually snows quite a lot.
Oh.
Yeah, so the houses here, the pillars are all really thick. This house was actually built through crowdfunding, but when they made the pillars to meet the housing standards, I thought, wow, these are even sturdier than the ones in my own house. The reason is, there's a lot of snow here, so to prevent the house from collapsing under the weight of the snow, the standard pillars are thicker than in other places.
I heard that there are also horses that have recently come here, is that right?
Yes, that's right. There's a horse called Goheim, and then, well, the horse Minchi behind us just arrived suddenly yesterday or the day before.
Yes, right now.
Originally, Goheim has had the same owner as Desiai's owner for quite some time. They'd had her since her days as a racehorse, and she had foals as a broodmare, but it seems the farm told them this one probably won't be able to produce good racing results. So, well... So, they said, if she's going to be used for breeding, please let Sumi-sen take care of her. She was a mare they said they wanted to look after until the very end.
Are cases like that becoming more common, after all?
I think so, yes. Well, of course, there are all kinds of ways owners think about things, but nowadays, Club Maras have really become quite popular, I think. Among those people, there are probably many who have a strong attachment to the horses they've cared for, so I think there are also people who want to look after them until the very end. Yes. In those cases, if there isn't a place like this, well, it would cost over 150,000 yen a month for one person alone. I think it would be really tough to keep supporting them on your own, so yes, I hope that people will agree with initiatives like this and consider entrusting their horses to a place like this together.
But yes,
A chicken.
the chicken just came in. But where is this from?
It's by the horses, yes. Well, it's kind of a mix of everything, which isn't ideal, but yes.
For those individuals who truly resonate with your various activities and the impactful work you are doing, whether they are just regular, everyday people or dedicated viewers of this particular program, if they genuinely feel a strong desire to offer their assistance or provide support in some meaningful way, what specific actions or steps should they consider taking?
That's right. Well, right now here. What we're working on is, a company called Mina no Uma no Kabushika Gaisha. We've established this company, well, it's called Mina no Kabushika Gaisha. Yeah, well, we have to create a system where the horses can earn money themselves. That's why it's a corporation. Of course, donations and support from the government are really appreciated, but if that support were to stop, we can't just say, okay, let's quit. After all, they're living beings. Some of them live up to 30 years, and surprisingly, the monthly expenses for them are quite high, so we really have to make efforts so that we can earn money ourselves. For now, we charge an 80,000 yen boarding fee per horse, and we're currently at the stage of trying to create roles for them with that income. Also, for 5,500 yen a month, people can become members, and we hope they will support these kinds of initiatives. More than anything, we really want people who feel a connection to the horses to come here and see them. I think the most important thing is for people to come, interact with the horses, and really enjoy themselves.
Yeah, and today as well, a lot of people have come here.
Yeah,
But for those who want to become members, everyone can just check out our company's website.
that's right. Yes, we've launched the official site, so please search for it from there and definitely register. Or, well, even if you just keep supporting us as you have been, we'd really appreciate it.
That's how I feel. As for the horses, we still have the capacity to take in more.
Yeah, well, right now, although it's in a different location, it's a pretty big mountain, and the administration has changed things up, but we were able to rent it cheaply. So, we're currently working on building a ranch there. For now, we've managed to finish one section, so I think we can immediately accommodate about 20 to 30 horses. And there are still about 3 more sections to go. Since there's space to expand and make it bigger, ultimately, yes, I'd like to aim for being able to manage around 100 head of cattle here in the Suzu area. That's the kind of initiative I want to work towards.
Yeah, but in that case, you'll really have to increase the number of staff, won't you?
That's right. Well, if possible, I'd like the staff to be people who are really rooted in the local community. So right now, we're working hard with the Board of Education to get local kids involved in these horse-related activities. We're hoping that people who are interested will come. If they're really little kids, we'll even teach them how to handle horses for free, just like we're doing now. So, I always tell them, please come by all means. And if someone ends up liking it here, it would be great if working with horses could become their livelihood. Then, little by little, we could start entrusting them with some of the work. I really hope things will turn out that way.
You know, even if it's not right away, maybe in the future, when the kids now have grown up, if they could take on those kinds of jobs, well,
Of course, you know, there are definitely kids who want to go into the horse racing industry or who want to become professional riders. So as a starting point, first, they can ride a lot of these horses that, you know, aren't the type that people spend a lot of money on. For example, figuring out how to help a horse that's not doing so well in certain areas, or how to ride a horse in a way that lets it exercise without stress, things like that. By learning these things, I think you'll really come to understand the value and sense of worth when you eventually get to ride better horses. Right now, it's probably not easy to immediately know what kind of money you should spend on what kind of horse to get a good one.
that's right, you know.
I think it's good to study with horses like these until you reach that point.
But still, that's something only a teacher can do, or rather, it's about knowledge. You have knowledge and experience, and that's something you can put to use.
Yeah, that's right. Well, I don't really have any intention of going back to the world of horse racing anymore. That's fine, but if there's something I know from my experience that I can pass on to someone, and if that can make people happy, then, you know, I don't think there's any need to keep it a secret and take it to the grave. Yeah.
All right then, thank you very much for today. So, everyone, please try searching for Minanouma Company, limited if you could. Please take a look at our website, and if you agree with what we're doing, we would really appreciate your support. Thank you very much. Thank you. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and subscribe to the channel. Thank you very much.